What's up, you guys? Francisco J. Nares here. Francisco J. Nares, or see if I can fit it. Francisco J. Nares here with another video. Today we're gonna talk about how to build your credit, how to start getting credit, how to start with credit for you young bucks out there, you young guys. 18, 19 years old, just graduating high school. 20-year-olds, guys that are my age, people that are my age that, let's go back a little bit. People my age that don't even know how to use credit, even what credit is. I think that credit should be something that everybody knows about. They should know what it is. They should educate themselves on credit and credit cards, how to use it, and how to use it in your favor, and not look at credit as a bad thing, because there's a lot of people that have misconceptions about credit and how to build it, and that credit cards are bad. Like, credit cards are horrible. But really, the more credit cards you have, the better credit you'll have if you know what you're doing. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start with what I think you guys should start doing first. And the very first thing you got to do is get a job. Get a job. It's a basic job. You can work literally, anywhere, jobs. Make sure it's a job that, obviously pays you and, charge, like, they take taxes out of your checks. They give you pay stubs. You can actually ask for pay stubs. All that stuff. Pretty basic. Just a job. That's the first thing you're going to need to do for sure. Second, if you don't already have one, a bank account, checkings and savings. You're gonna want to have both. I recommend having both. Have it so then when they send you money or you're depositing, put it in your checking, and then have your savings. Either I think you can direct deposit some, like a percentage maybe, or a certain amount of dollar wise, or just transfer a certain amount every paycheck. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit, something, so then your savings can actually be, growing a little bit, every time you get paid. So then you have that, you have savings and checking. It can be anywhere, I use Chase. That's just, I just went there. I don't know. That was just my first decision. You can go anywhere. Bank of America, there's there's obviously just so many you can go and open up a checking and savings account with. What you would what you would want to do is see if you can get one that they give you some sort of benefit. There's so many benefits out there. All you have to do is just do your research a little bit on what they provide. If there's fees, like annual fees, try and get some that don't have that. Just basic benefits. Don't be searching for like the best and this and that and that. Like, just if you can get basic benefits, just they give you an extra $20 or $100 for signing up and that type of stuff. If it's like a just generic bank, then I think you should be fine. Just open one up. All right, so now you have a job, bank account, and it's checking and savings, and you have a little bit amount of money. Maybe like $1,000 in your checking account, couple, 100, 200 in your savings, something like that. Just something pretty basic. And what I would do is the first thing you should do, the first credit card you should get, is the Discover It secured credit card. Pretty much everyone can be accepted when they apply for that card. It's some people that have no credit, with bad credit, they can even pretty much sign up and get accepted. So the first thing you want to do is sign up for that card. Now, this card isn't as I can't even say the words. It's not your average credit card. It's gonna require a secured deposit, and what that means is you're gonna sign up, right? And it's gonna ask you, how much of a security deposit do you want to make? So the way that this credit card works is the deposit that you put into the card is what they're gonna give you as a credit line. So let's say you give them some basic, you give them $100. They're gonna be like, okay, you give us $100 as a secure deposit. We're gonna give you in exchange, a credit line of $100. That's it. It's just like having $100 cash, except you're gonna have it in a credit card. and so it's pretty basic. So you're gonna have to have some money saved up. I When I started, I put $500 in it just because I was like, oh my god, I don't want to put $100. I feel like it's not enough, but I don't want to put too much. And I thought 500 was just a good amount. You guys can do that too, however much you're comfortable with. But I wouldn't put no more than like $500. I think $500 is good enough. Starting out, 250 to 500, I think should be fine. Now, rule of thumb for credit cards, and this is all credit cards that you ever get. You want to use about 10 to 15% of the total credit max. So, on a $500 limit, that's between $50 to $75 that you should be using with that card. Now, if you go over a little bit or under a little bit, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but don't be going out and spending $500 on, at once, because you're like, oh my god, it's credit now. It works different. Don't be spending money that you don't have. That's obviously basic rule of thumb, but people literally need to be reminded of it because they forget. You can download the Discover app, pretty much a bank app, and then you can track all of your expenses on there. It tells you how much credit you have available, tells you how much your payments are, how much, your statements, shows all that stuff. So download the app. It's free, super quick. You have all that information, and it's just going to help be a lot more organized when you're looking through exactly what you're spending. Don't be going out and spending, I'm going to go buy Xbox with this money, or spending a PS4, or just spending money that you normally don't spend just because you have a credit card. Keep all your expenses the same. Just now, instead of going and, hey, I'm going to go and get gas, or I'm going to go and, get fast food real quick. Instead of using your debit card, you just use your credit card, and that's it. You're not going to add any of your expenses. You're not going to start spending more just because you have a credit card. Keep your expenses the same. Now, the reason you want this card is because it's a cashback card, which means once you start spending money on the credit card, once the billing cycle is over, they actually give you a percentage back of what you spent. It's pretty basic, and it's honestly, I think it's the best benefit when it comes to credit cards, because a lot of them give you like travel stuff and just kind of random things. Cashback, I think, is like the best benefits you can get in a credit card, and that's what you should stay focused on for now, because unless you plan on traveling all over the United States all the time soon, then you don't really need anything like that. Just a regular cashback is fine. This card does give you 2% cashback on gas and at restaurants, and everything else 1%. So, you probably fill up your gas about once a week, something like that. Boom, you use a credit card. You go out to eat, boom, credit card. Super simple. You're not going out and spending extra money just because it's on a credit card or a credit limit. Just keep it basic, exactly what you do. And even when you go to the store, hey, I'm gonna go to Best Buy, buy something just simple, or I'm gonna go to somewhere basic. Spend that money that you usually would from your debit card onto the credit card. But do not be spending stuff that you do not need. I have to keep repeating that because people need to understand that, because I swear that's probably what's going to happen for some people. That's probably what happens a lot of the time, that people don't understand when they get a credit card. So the way I do it is, let's say, I have my $500 limit. I'll spend $50, and then I'll spend $50, and then I'll actually pay off those $50. And then use it until $50 again, $75, and then pay it. What you do not want is to have a balance before the billing cycle ends. So let's say it ends on every 10th of the month, right? Once you get a card, you'll know when your billing cycle ends. You want to make sure that there is no charges, a zero balance on the card when the billing cycle ends. So let's say it's on the 10th, right? Today's the 11th. You want it all paid off. You want that all paid off before the 10th. If that, give me a second. Quit scooting this way. So, you want all that amount paid off before the 10th. So, if it's the 8th and you still have a balance on there of whatever, pay it off completely. Have a $0 balance. This is going to help you forever. Always have a $0 balance every ending billing cycle for all of your cards. That's rule of thumb. Another rule of thumb. Zero balance. $0. You don't need anything on there. You don't need a balance to carry over to, oh, they told me that I need to have $100 on it, or else it's not going to build credit. It's not true. Have a $0 balance at the end of the cycle every time. So you do it once, you do $50 once, you pay it off, you do another 50, pay it off, another 50, it's going to accumulate, and then they're off of what you've spent, they're going to be giving you the cashback percentage. But like I said, I'll say it again, don't be spending, let's say you can only do that twice in a month, then just do it twice and that's it. Don't be doing more than you have or that you should. So after about 2 to 5 billing cycles, after they, it says, okay, here's a new statement coming up. All right, so after a couple, 2 to 5 billing cycles, the cycle ends and you just keep paying it off. What you're going to want to do is download this app called Credit Karma. This is the one I use. And by the way, these are all stuff that I recommend because I used. So, use them. So, it's called Credit Karma. You enter in all your information. Make sure it's you because sometimes it asks you weird questions. You got to make sure you know exactly what it's asking. Once you have that downloaded, that is a tool to check your credit without actually affecting your credit. You can look it up and it'll give you a rough estimate of what your credit score is, and it gives you recommendations, all that type of stuff. There's gonna be a bunch of pop-ups of app I don't know, credit cards and all this stuff trying to get you to get approved of stuff. Just ignore all that. Just look at your credit score and that's it. Don't be trying to apply on things on their credit cards, whatever. Just open it up and check what your credit score is. Now you can check it literally every week, every day if you want. You can check it every single week, and you want to check every week because it updates once a week. You want to keep getting updates on it to let you know what your credit score is. So every month, every couple weeks, it's gonna update. It's gonna tell you it just went up a couple points because of this or that, or you can get a higher score if you do this. Those type of recommendations. It'll just tell you on there. It's super simple to use. I recommend downloading it, using that one. It's free. And like I said, it does not affect your credit when you check it on the app. So you don't have to be worried about that. So there are 6 calculations that the app uses to calculate your credit score. There's payment history, credit card utilization, derogatory marks, total accounts, hard inquiries, and the last one is, I'm trying to think, I know it. Is total accounts. I think that's what I missed. So I could break all those down for you. There's only 4 of them that you're actually gonna want to pay attention to all the time because those are the ones that affect your credit score a lot sooner than the other ones. So payment history, credit card utilization, derogatory marks, and hard inquiries. Those are the ones that you can do something wrong and it affects your credit quick. The other two, the age of credit or whatever, that one, that's not going to be affected anytime soon, and neither is the total account since it's just going to be your first card. Just focus on your first one. That's going to stay low. It's not going to be affected anytime soon. So payment history. This one can really mess your credit up if you miss any payments, but it's probably one of the easier ones to manage. As long as you carry a $0 balance at the end of every cycle, you will not have any payments due, and your payment history will stay at 100%. Super basic. Just keep the $0 balance when the billing cycle ends, and that'll be good. It'll stay at 100%. You'll be good. But one thing you should have is your credit information, everything in that credit card. So then, let's say you do end up with a balance of $10, $20, whatever, and there is a minimum balance. you do want to pay that off. So the easiest way to do this is just having your credit card information set automatically, paying the minimum monthly payments. It should be zero all the time, but just in case some balance does roll over or whatever, the minimum balance is always covered, and that's what they want you to pay at least, is the minimum payment every single month. And like I said, to keep it $0 balance, you won't have any minimum payments, so you'll be credit card utilization. So that's pretty much how much of the total credit you're using. That should also be 0% all the time on your credit card history. Credit Karma, my bad. On your Credit Karma, the app, credit card utilization, 0%. When the billing cycle ends, $0 in the balance carrying over, and that'll stay at 0%. That's where you want it. Sometimes, let's say a balance does carry over, it's gonna calculate how much percentage you use of the total credit that you have available. So let's say $100 carries over, and your credit limit is $500. Then it's gonna show credit card utilization 20%, which is high. So you always want to keep that at like literally minimum 0%. Maximum you want it to be 5-10% if it ever does. And then let's say that happens in August, right? A balance carries over, and then you pay it all off how you're supposed to do it in September. October is going to show 0% credit card utilization again. So September is going to say 10% if you use a balance of 100 of the 500. It's going to say 20%, credit card utilization. And then once September is going to be over and you have everything paid off with the zero balance and the next billing cycle, October is going to show the 0%. So as long as you just maintain it and keep the 0%, then you will be fine. So keeping your credit card utilization 0%, payment history 100%, those will be kept at those marks as long as you don't carry a balance over on the billing side. Derogatory marks, those are accounts that you have that are usually in collection. So let's say you had a bill or whatever and you never paid it, and it's in collections. That's going to show up on there, and you do not want to have those there. Obviously, you don't have anything in collections, but if you do, there's no other way around it. Just pay it off. Just start paying off whatever you have that's in collections. Pay it off. You obviously want 0 accounts in collection. 1, 2, 3 of them, it's gonna not be good. It's gonna affect your credit negatively. And there's no other way around it. Just pay it off. Pay it all off. It's super simple. Pay it off, and then you'll be fine. It'll go back to 0, which is good for your credit. Now, hard inquiries, those are where some people get really mixed up. Hard inquiries are when you actually go out. Let's say you go out to Best Buy, you go to, T-Mobile, like a phone shop or something like that, and they actually check your credit there. That is a hard inquiry. They check your credit. It affects your credit. They actually check your credit, and they actually see what score you have. Now, whether it's soft credit, they tell you hard credit check, whatever. I do not recommend doing that if you do not know what your credit score is. If you're just starting out, don't get any credit cards anywhere, because first off, you're probably not. If you're still learning, you could easily mess up, and it's gonna affect your credit negatively. Hard inquiries, they last a while on your actual account. So if you get hard inquiry, shows 1 or 2. They can stay on there for a couple years. So make sure if you are going to check your credit, you know exactly what you're getting, you know what your credit score is, and you know you're going to be approved for whatever it is, because it'll suck if they check it and you're not approved of whatever you're trying to get. So make sure you know exactly what you're doing. You're going to get approved, for sure. You have good credit. You already know, you've already learned the basics and you already know what you're getting yourself into. Other than that, I don't recommend checking your credit anywhere. Best Buy, the store you go to all the time. Hey, there's a promotion, credit card, whatever. No, I'm fine. Do not get any of those. Just stick with the basic one you got. Use that one, and you'll be fine. Do not be checking your credit score all the time, because they don't want you to be checking your credit score often, like at all if you couldn't. But long story short, it's kind of weird because they do want you to be having multiple credit cards, which equals more hard inquiries. So, it's a, you know, that's for the future. That's for another video. But just have that one card, Discover It card, and you'll be fine. So yeah, after about 4 to 8 months of using your credit card, you're doing it right, you're paying it off. Everything's green, you know. The only things that probably aren't going to be green and they're going to be red are the total accounts and the age history. Those two, you can't really do anything about it. They're going to stay that way for a while. But everything else, make sure it's green, you know. Your credit score is, you know, you actually see it growing. Once you're like, okay, I'm comfortable, I know what I'm doing. You still have some money in your bank account, you know, you're still working, you're using your credit card good. I would recommend getting your second credit card. And this one is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. That's the one I got too. I have both of these cards. It's good because it gives you cash back. Same thing. When you spend money, all that type of stuff, same thing happens when the billing cycle is over. They give you a percentage back. And I recommend using this card. It's a good card. I've had it for, you know, a couple years now. And just do the exact same thing. Do the same thing the same way you use it on the regular Discover card. Use this card the same way, you know. Don't be bumping up your expenses just because now you actually have credit of like 1,000, 1,500, whatever they give you. Don't be, okay, now I have that money, I can go and spend it whatever I want. Same rule of thumb of the 10%. Do not carry a balance over, and do not be spending extra money that you do not have, or don't be spending extra money just to get the 10%. Just if you don't get that 10% whatever, then just it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just wait till the billing cycle ends. Pay it off. No, wait before the billing cycle ends. You know, at least 2 days before. Pay it off. Zero balance. Just continue the cycle. Continue both of them. Using both cards. Sometimes you use the Discover one. Sometimes you use the Chase one. Just make sure you know what days the billing cycle ends, and make sure that the balance is zero a couple days before, maybe like 2 days minimum before. That's how I do it, just to make sure. I check, okay, it's 2 days before, it's the 8th, and it's due on the 10th. The 8th, the balance is zero. I'm not going to be using it anymore. I'm not going to do nothing with the card until the day after the billing cycle ends. This is a good rule of thumb. You'll stay on top of it. Your credit will eventually keep growing. You'll want to aim for at least a 700 to 750 credit score. That's what you want to aim for. When you're starting out, that's what you want to be aiming for. If you can get that with one card or two cards, just start out trying to achieve that goal. It's pretty basic. It's not hard. As long as you're paying everything on time before the billing cycle ends, not carrying a percentage over of anything, you will build your credit. It'll start going up by points, and you can check it on Credit Karma every week. It says it'll update next time, 5 days or whatever. It lets you know on there. So just keep that in mind, checking every week, however much days is left. It's super simple to build your credit. That's literally all it is. So once you have those two cards, start building your credit. Start using, your credit cards, both of the cards, and then pay them off with your debit card. Pretty simple. Do not increase your expenses just because you got credit cards. Keep them the same, and your credit will build. Try and get that 700 to 750. That's a good credit score. It'll let you know on your phone as well. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. A lot of people don't even know how to get started or whatever. This video was to help, where to get started from. If you're working and you're like, how do I get credit cards, or how I want to learn about it? Like I said before, everyone should learn how to do this. This is for the basic. This is the first video just to keep everything basic. Get a credit card, the Discover one. Check your credit, and then you can kind of get the flow of, okay, this is how you check your credit. This is what it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be using it. I'm not supposed to be using it, day before the billing cycle ends, or carry a balance over from the billing cycle. Just follow the rules, follow these things, keep them in your mind, and eventually you will start building your credit, and you could get to that 700 score pretty easily as long as you keep it forward, keep it going. After a couple months, probably, depending on how much you actually spend, how often you use it, the quicker you get there, the quicker, you can be like, oh wow, actually I'm starting to learn how to use the credit card. So keep it simple. That's pretty much as basic as it gets. Getting those 2 cards I recommend because those are the ones that I got. Any other questions, let me know. You can hit me up, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. You can hit me up. Any other questions, maybe something I didn't go over, or any other questions you do have, just hit me up. I won't turn away a question. You can maybe let me know, like, if there's any other better cards that you could probably get, or what bank I suggest getting. Just any questions, just let me know. Don't be afraid to let me know. And I hope this helps some people. I hope this helps somebody out, because credit cards are pretty basic and pretty simple once you get the hang of it. So I hope that helps someone. Hit me up on the social media, and I'll catch you guys. I'm talking all crazy. I see you guys on the next one. Peace out.